I am Jenny Minter. I am the chief of the Mount Horeb Area Joint Fire Department. When the fire department and the police department decided to pursue the joint venture, the fire department was doing our own separate building. So we kept that option kind of on the table at the beginning in case the police department decided they did not want to pursue.
My name is Jennifer Schaaf. I am a detective with the Mount Horeb Police Department. The primary reason that we wanted to go with a combined building was to save taxpayer money. It would save approximately $1.1 million for taxpayers, both on the village and fire department side. Plus, with all of us going to a lot of the same calls, it seemed like a great idea to have us coming from a same general direction.
Again, the cost savings in putting the two departments together kind of sealed the deal that we were going to do a shared facility here in Mount Horeb.
My name is Chris Eger. I work for Bray Architects. I was the project architect with the Mount Horeb team. Specifically with Mount Horeb, we designed the police on one side, the fire on the other, and then a centerpiece that brought them together and brings the community into that space. That centerpiece ended up being a museum that children can play in, that the community can come into and see the history of Mount Horeb specifically. Some of the really important aspects of design when you're combining several different departments is making sure that you have really strong support characters from those departments that you're working with. So at Mount Horeb, we had really wonderful help from Chief Minter as well as Detective Schaaf. They are integral in our design, as are all owners. Bray really works hard to make sure that we're communicating well with the users of the space and that they're communicating with us on what they need.
So some of the features that were important to the fire department was to include as many training opportunities that we could. In our old building, it was rather small. We always had to train outdoors, and in Wisconsin, training outdoors and the weather doesn't always work out. Some outdoor training features that we made sure to incorporate was an area for a training burn tower, also sleeping quarters. Our old station did not have sleeping quarters. One of the other features that we wanted to make sure that we had was an exercise facility. Whatever that we can share with them, we're happy to share, and they've been able to use those resources since they now are our neighbors. So I enjoyed the process in working with the architects and the design team in picking out the finishes that were agreeable to fire and EMS. We tend to be a little hard on things, so we put a lot of work and effort into finding materials that looked great and were going to be durable in the end. The fire department was able to put some designs into play with using more of the red colors that are more traditional with the fire service. The police department chose a lot more blue colors in their area, and then the shared space has a very neutral wood color that identifies whose area is whose, and also gave us the opportunity to design our spaces individually.
Some of the features that we looked at when we were taking tours that we decided to incorporate were fast doors. We wanted the ability to leave without having to worry about waiting for the door to shut, and we wanted it to open without having to wait for it to open. Some safety procedures that we looked into that we felt were very important was having panic alarms in key locations of the building. If officers were in the booking room or the administrative staff up front and no one was around to help them and something became dangerous, we installed panic buttons in our sally port, booking area, as well as for our administrative assistants up front. We also installed, for safety features, we have push bar panic alarms. The push bars on two of our doors, both exiting the sally port as well as the booking area, automatically sound off an alarm if they're pushed in, and they also delay unlocking for at least 15 seconds. The best feature about that is if we're involved in something where someone's trying to get away, we can usually obtain control of them during that time.
So one of the things I would recommend to municipalities who are interested in looking at a shared facility is open up discussions between the various departments up front. Ask the police department and the fire department what type of areas they could share. That's going to kind of target where those cost savings might come into play. I would also recommend that you get some design work incorporated early on through an architect firm such as Bray, so that they can assist in that process of what might work and what might not work in putting together a shared facility. One of the major hurdles with the shared facility is that it requires a larger land area. So that's one thing that you want to look at as well, is to make sure that you have enough property space in order to lay out your shared facility so that it works for all the entities involved.
The advice I'd give to any municipality, county that wants to combine services is to think about the things that you can share and cut costs on, and maybe talking about those things in advance and coming to some sort of agreement while you're doing the budget. I think what didn't work well is the fact that we were designing our sides separately. It would have been nicer to come together sooner to figure out what it was that somebody might have come up with that was a good idea, and that flow might have come faster and quicker, and rather than having to go back and change things after the fact.
Moving into the shared facility has been very beneficial to the fire department and the police department. We have really worked hard together in both training opportunities that we didn't have before and communication activities. It's been great for both departments.
I have noticed that officers and firefighters will jointly grill out together and have picnics together in their downtime. I would say the benefits outweigh any possible negatives that you can think of, and we've always kept an open door, very inviting atmosphere amongst both sides, and it's worked to make our departments closer to each other.
It's always been such a great reward to work with municipalities all the way through the process. We enjoy giving them a home and giving them a place to work out of. And we look forward to hopefully working on your project.
That was awesome!